Hello, everybody. It's meteorologist Hutch Johnson on this fantastic Friday. Beautiful weather across the valley. Tornado surveys have been completed by the National Weather Service offices in Bismarck and Aberdeen for tornadoes across the region midweek. I'll have the latest on that and your forecast for the holiday weekend ahead. It's all next. You're watching Hutch's Weather.
Now, a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right. Thanks to my sponsors and thanks to you for taking the time to join me here on Hutch's Weather. We're going to get to a lot of details, but first I want to share with you the tornadoes that struck through the area as we went through our Wednesday, a long day. There were some not far south of the border into South Dakota. There were strong ones there. And some other storms that moved through Steele, North Dakota, well, that caused some damage. It's the one that caused the trees and to be snapped in town, hay bales to be thrown around, and some train cars to be tipped over. That was rated at an EF1 size, winds that were straight line winds that caused damage as well, up to 100 miles per hour from those straight line winds. That's what the survey says. So a strong tornado caused that damage. Here's a look at what that looked like. And thanks to you for your photos, by the way, and for taking the time to upload these photos. But as that storm worked its way across Kidder County in North Dakota, look at the train cars here. Jay, thanks so very much. Again, that storm causing significant damage and some straight line winds causing damage from that one as well. Now, on another note, down to the south of the border, we're talking the storm that I was covering in Mound City, South Dakota. There were 3 tornadoes on that event, all of them not far from Mound City because that storm was just creeping and crawling. The EF2 rating was given to one of the storms, and that one happened basically 2 miles, it was a 2-mile path, 150-yard wide tornado is what they measured there. And the wind speeds maxed out at 115 miles per hour. Now, the National Weather Service does these surveys, and they take damage like this and use science to calculate the winds and the speeds that it must have taken to do damage that they see. Now, a couple of those tornadoes out there near Mound City fell into cornfields. And when you're looking in a cornfield, it's awful difficult to diagnose exactly how much damage was caused or how fast the wind could have been when it's just corn stalks that were blown over. So sometimes we're limited in our ability to make a judgment on that. Now let's take a look at what's going on with our weather today across the area. To do that, we'll start out with a look at the radar. And our radar is definitely showing that we have some quiet conditions across most of the Northwest, North Central Plains, showers and thunderstorms all the way from Texas into the Great Lakes region. There's been some windy thunderstorms. There are some severe thunderstorms as well, working their way through places like Missouri and down into Texas. We have some very heavy thunderstorm activity not far from Lubbock. And outside of New Orleans here, we do have some very wet weather working its way through. And once again, off the shores, the Gulf shores of Florida, we have some very wet weather and thunderstorms taking place out in those areas. So for us, everything is quiet. Everything is nice. Let's take a look at those temperatures now across the region. And as we take you back into the home view here of the region, what you're going to notice is the warmer weather and the warmer colors are out to the west. And that's indeed what we have going on as we cross into the 5 o'clock hour. Here is a look at some of those temperatures. Bismarck, you are at the 84-degree mark. Heading out towards Jamestown, it's 80 degrees. Fargo, 79. Grand Forks, 75 degrees. Glendive, Montana, how about 85 degrees for you? Looking pretty hot in northwest South Dakota. Look at this. Not far from Buffalo, South Dakota, 88 sizzling degrees. Lemon, South Dakota, 87. That's for you in Hettinger as well. Let's shift the map off into Minnesota, where things are a little bit cooler today. As we look off in the area of Bemidji, Babe the Blue Ox is very comfortable. That's 77 degrees there. And up near Lake of the Woods, out near Baudette, it's 71 degrees. Duluth, well, they're in the mid-70s. Minneapolis, very comfortable with a 77-degree reading right now. So let's talk a little bit about the forecast. And to do that, we're going to load up a rendition of the forecast model here. And while that's loading up, I'll just let you know the weather here is going to be a lot quieter as we go through the next 24 hours, but we're going to see a swing in temperatures as we go through the period as well. And to do that, I'm going to load up the loop of the data that takes us all the way out Let's make sure I've got a decent model here. I got a great model. Okay, let's go ahead and let that load. And now as that's loading, I'm going to take you to a look at the forecast that we have for the area as we go into the weekend ahead. So we'll go over the numbers first, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the timing of all of this stuff. Here you go as we check in. Where is it now? Let's see. It's right here. Okay, let's go to this. So let's take a look at your forecast temperatures here. And what we're going to notice with our morning temperatures on Saturday, we'll dip down into the 60s out there here in the valley to upper 50s for most. Pretty uniform temperatures across the area, and it'll be light wind and mostly sunny, a few clouds in northwest and north central parts of Minnesota. Those clouds will increase, and so will the winds as we go through our day. For Fargo, 61 to start your day, west-northwest winds up to about 10 miles per hour. Now, the wind will be increasing in the late morning and afternoon hours, and it'll be shifting direction. Now, I don't know how I got Sunday in there out of order. Let's go ahead and talk about Labor Day first. South-southwest winds increase on your Labor Day. Let's talk about Saturday first, not Labor Day. Saturday looks to bring temperatures that are in the 80s for Fargo. Breezy north winds will not develop until later in the mid-afternoon hours, and they get gusty, upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour. I dare to say there could be a few showers skirting along the international border on our Saturday afternoon to start the Labor Day weekend. So we start out warm, and then on the 1st of September, meteorological fall, I might add, 73 degrees. So we cool it off and feel a little more fall-like out there with some breezy conditions continuing until late. Then the wind really dies down. Labor Day, the south winds start taking hold late in the day and out to the west. That's where things will be the warmest. But I've warmed things up a couple of degrees here for the FM area. We're going to be in the mid-70s for most areas. Back to school, back to work next week. It looks like temperatures rise all the way back into the 80s, but we have a cool weather-making system working its way through. Look at these temperatures for late next week. If you like refreshing, we got you covered. Now, let's take a look at what all this stuff looks like as we focus in on the model forecast here. So let's go. And as we take a look at that model guidance, this is what you need to know. See the showers up there near the north central part of Minnesota as we go through the day tomorrow? Okay, so here we go for a Friday evening. Nothing to worry about. Get out there, absolutely enjoy. Maybe you can walk the dog. I think Pedro likes that idea. And also, you can walk the cat. And make sure you have a leash. Of course, that's, I think, the law. And then as we look into your Friday, there it is. Some showers start moving in on the northern shores of the big lake up there. And as we look into Lake of the Woods County, that's where the chances will be into the morning hours tomorrow. See this? So as we go through late Friday night, let me turn the clock here. I'm sorry, I've got the timestamps showing the current time. Okay, there we go. So your model time is for tomorrow afternoon for some passing showers. So we start out the morning with a few clouds and increasing clouds up north in northern Minnesota. The rest of us high and dry. The wind becomes northwesterly late as this cool front moves its way through in the afternoon. Up in northern Minnesota and the northern valley, we could see gusts there that will exceed 30 miles per hour is my thinking. So the cooler weather and the chance at any rain at all will be up in Roseau County, Lake of the Woods County. Northern Beltrami County may see some Rainy Lake, and the International Falls area could see some showers working their way in that general vicinity, and it's out of here by the time we get to your Saturday evening. So again, Saturday brings a chance of that in the north, but it's those northerly winds that will cool us off for your Sunday and for your Labor Day as well. That is a look at your weather. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I'm going to check right now to see if I have any questions from any of you. So let's see. Don't they use the depth into the soil to judge wind speeds of a tornado? Kai, they can. Let's say a tornado runs right across asphalt. Sometimes it scours the asphalt, and it takes a certain wind speed to do that. So there are some tables that are used, put together by engineers and people that research stuff, but it's really more helpful if the tornado does some damage to some sort of a building that we know the type of construction. We know it took a tractor that weighed this much and threw it this many yards. Those are the kind of things. So when it does hit a cornfield, it can really be difficult to determine exactly how strong those winds were. So thank you very much for watching. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and please remember to check in to hutchesweather.com for the latest as you go through the weekend for updates on your weather anytime, anywhere. For now, have a safe and awesome Labor Day weekend. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I'll be back a little later tonight with an update